Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Herb. We're here with Jeffrey, and he's gonna give us a deck profile on his Thunder Family build that he recently built.
Yeah, I had actually tested this build out. It's gone through some changes here and there. A couple tech choices, and I went through a lot of the different builds like the Battery Man, AAA. I went through Chaos Hunters. I went through Light Ray Hunters, which was horrible. But for the most part, the Batman AAA version is pretty explosive, but it's really prone to Max C. And that's one thing that I love is making Max C's dead in the hand with this deck. Like as is, the deck isn't prone to Max C, but with the Batman AAA version, especially if you're spamming the field, you're going to allow your opponent to plus, with Max C's game one, because chances are they're going to be main decking Maxi. So the Chaos version I didn't like it because you have to run the chore guides, and on top of that you have to run the Dark Mimic and the Night Assailant to make the chore guides consistent. And it was just a little bit too slow, honestly. Like even though you could drop Chaos Sorcerers and BLS consistently, I just didn't like it. So yeah, this is my what I call balanced Thunders.
All right, so yeah, let's
so obviously staple triple Thunder Seahorse. It's one of the best +1s in the deck. I consider it the best Thunder. Like a lot of people would disagree and say like other Thunders are the best. I've seen people play Watch Rafts and all that stuff, but Thunder Seahorse is by far the best Thunder in the deck. Alright, and then now for the Thunder family itself, I run triple Maw, triple Pot, and something that most people don't do is actually triple Sis. I personally do not understand why people do not run triple Sis. I have a friend right here that I've actually been placed. I think he's actually knocked the hell out.
He's asleep, everybody, right now.
He was yeah, just.
By the way, they're ultras.
Yeah, exactly.
Zoom in on
alright, guys. I'm gonna do a shout out to a YouTube channel, freaking amazing YouTube channel. He made these Hollow Hunters. I request him. I asked him to make these because he actually makes custom hollows. As far as I'm concerned, they're tournament legal, like for regionals and YCS. I haven't taken them to a regional YCS. They're legal at locals, but as far as I'm concerned, they're legal at big events. So check them out. It's Team Bacon Saver. But yeah, check them out, guys. Just I'm pretty sure everyone knows what Bacon Saver is. Stupid little card, but yeah, like it's a good channel. I'm subscribed to. They put out good content. I'll definitely check it out. All right, so back to the profile. One of my teammates told me that honestly that Sis was honestly the best hunter out of everyone, and I would actually have to agree with him. And I told him straight up, like going Thunder Seahorse into double Sis Hunter and summoning the Sis Hunter, recycling the Thunder Seahorse is a +2 play. You end up with an 8 card count. And in my book, like a lot of people run 1 or 2. If you run it at 1, it's not searchable with Thunder Seahorse. And if you run it at 2, and if you draw the 1 Sis Hunter, turn 1, you're not gonna be able to search it for it anymore. And it's honestly like one of the best recyclers in the deck. Sure you have like what do you call it, recycling batteries, but I just think that this does a lot more consistent job at it. It helps you keep hand advantage too. So yeah, honestly, I would definitely recommend that you guys test the triple Sis Hunter. It's definitely good. You gotta know how to run how to play Sis Hunter though. It's not It's not a very straightforward play. You can't just always go Sis Hunter into Thunder Seahorse for the +2 because if you don't have the right setup in hand, you can easily let yourself be OTK'd. So, alright, and then one of the best. One of the best Thunders in the deck, right after Thunder Seahorse and Sis Hunter is Violent Prism. I don't like 3. 3's too many. 2's just fine. You can recycle it with a Sis Hunter. This is why I'm saying that Sis Hunter is so good. You can recycle anything that that has already been mentioned. All this you can recycle it. And personally, recycling and keeping hand advantage is important in this deck, considering the fact that you can't just go into one card XYZs like Batman AAA, but you have more security, in my opinion, because you're not prone to torrential as much. So I would definitely recommend double Violent Prism, no more, no less. And then obviously double T-King, you open up T-King versus Prophecy, GG, especially if you have some back row to back it up. Even against Mermails, and Herbert can actually attest to this one. You open up T-King and they have a Pike Engrave or a Dragoons, and if they have to get this T-King off the field and, their only out is like a Megal or something, or a Tias, or, for defense, they're going to have to minus themselves, to try to get rid of this. And if you have back row and if you punish them, they're just going to go minus even more. It's good against all decks. It's okay against E-Dragons because you stop their searches, you stop their XYZs. They have to beat over this. And if you have back row to protect this, you could stall for a turn or two. T-King's just an all-around good card. I consider it a staple at 2 in this deck. And obviously the hand traps, I don't play main deck Veiler, and you'll see why in the trap lineup. I do 1 Honest and double Maxi. This deck, if your opponent tries to push through Maxi, they're going to get punished for it, like really bad.
I know.
One of my teams right here, he was playing Heretics, and he thought he could OTK me. He was also playing Inzectors yesterday.
Yeah. He
was playing Inzectors, and he had the OTK, and I drew like 4 cards off of the Max C. He attacked once with a Shark Fortress, and he only had to attack 1 more time. But on the first attack, I dropped a Trag that was like 4,200.
Yeah.
And then after that, I just was it an OTK?
You had a game.
Yeah, he had taken like a little bit of damage. He was like in the 7,000 life point range, and then I just got game afterwards because I dropped double Palo Dynamo, and then I cowboyed for game after that, right?
Yeah.
And then I beat over something with a Trag. So yeah, it was a pretty big comeback. I honestly thought he was gonna have me, but yeah, definitely double Maxi and Honest. You need the Honest. I see some people not running Honest, and that's just stupid. Honestly, no pun intended. And then, honestly,
and there's the card I hate the most.
Oh my god, guys!
With a passion.
This card puts in so much work. Whenever I play against his Herb's Mermails, and I drop this after Max seeing him, and he tries to push for game because I don't have Trag all the time, and then sometimes he plays around the back row, or he gets rid of it, or he avoids it with like Lance or something like that. And I drop Trag after he pushes through. And then I could just like bounce back and just clear his field, even if he goes into a Draco sack or something, with Pal Dynamo. So yeah, and then Gorse scores, stops OTKs and it punishes bad players and bad plays. So yeah, and then alright, and then the last monster. Still debating on whether to keep it in. It has won me a lot of games, and it's obviously like a really broken card. In general, and it honestly deserves to be banned. And even if it does get banned, I won't really care if it does, because I can just put in other tech choices. 1 BLS, and it's actually quite questionable because considering the fact that I only have 3 dark targets in the main deck, people would assume that this is inconsistent. But all of everyone here can actually attest to the fact that I can actually drop this consistently. I almost never have it dead in my hand.
I super fly that bitch.
Fuck that. Oh, hell no. Yesterday, we were all playing against his heroes. I went to search for Thunder Seahorse. He had 2 cards set, right? He had 2 cards set. I went to go recycle the Thunder Seahorse with the Assist Hunder. And then I got the Seahorse back to my hand. And during the end phase, he mind crushes me for 3 Maw Hunters in hand. That single-handedly won him the game. I got a luck sack that game because I did not draw any side deck cards. Game 2 or 3, I did not draw any side deck cards. Game 2 or 3 until like the last 2 turns. I drew like a Royal Decree and a Mind Crush for the last 2 cards that I drew for that game 3. That was bullshit. But yeah, definitely. BLS, as far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna keep it main decked. You play Darks in the extra deck. You play Dark XYZs and Dark Synchros. By the way, I'm missing 2 cards from the extra deck, but I'll say what they are.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely consistent. Like if you know how to play the deck, if you know how to manage the build that I have, you will definitely. You can teabag him or what? You're in the background like teabagging DG.
Just continue.
Alright. Here you go, spoon. Like last night. Well, yeah, alright guys, yeah. 1 BLS, it's busted, if you play the deck right, it's consistent. All right, and then for the recycling engine, further two recycling batteries. I don't have to explain that. It's a +1. No Avarice, by the way. I was actually testing out Avarice, and I found myself drawing into Avarice and recycling batteries too many times. And even though I could go into some pretty crazy plays with Avarice and recycling batteries, I found it dead. I found it me drawing it early on in the game. Yeah, not so much late. I found me drawing it for like first hand and it being dead until like turn 4, and even by then, you know, like my opponent has already gained advantage over me. You know, if I draw too early on into the game, and if I on top of that, if I draw on recycling batteries on top of that Avarice, you know, it's not good. You know, I personally think that recycling batteries is one of the best, is the best recycler. You know, I prefer it over one Avarice, one recycling batteries. And on top of that, you know, you have cards that recycle XYZs, which is Daigo Storamo, you know, and that's one of the biggest reasons why people run Avarice in this deck is because it recycles the XYZs. But the fact of the matter is that Daigo Storamo can do, you know, the job, you know, if you really need to recycle the XYZs. And if you know how to play the deck right, you know, even though it's a 1800 beater, you know, you could still keep it alive and go for another +1 the next turn. So yeah, and then Staples, Dark Hole, Heavy, Monster Reborn. I don't need to go into that. Yeah, you know, it's just a trinity. You know, power spells.
They broke.
There. They're broke. One MST. I do not find myself needing too much back row removal. Obviously, in the side deck, I'm running extra back row removal. But you know, I just need one main decked MST. You know, I don't need a lot more, any more than that. You know, and with the extra deck, you know, you can work around, you know, cards like Bottomless and, you know, Torrential and a lot of those cards. And then finally for the last two spells, 2 dualities. You know, it's broke. You open up with duality and Seahorse. First turn, you can thin out your deck by 3 cards. You know, and that within itself is pretty good. You know, you thin your deck out by 3 cards, and you search Thunder Seahorse, grab 2 600s if your hand is right. You activate the duality, search something out, and then recycle the Seahorse. So you go +2, and you search something out that you might need. You know, all right, and then now for the trap lineup. A lot of people don't run too many traps in this deck, and if they do, they run like what the fuck are you laughing at?
I just dropped the camera kind of, but it's still
Are
recording.
you serious? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Fuck you. But yeah, like you know, like a lot of people don't run traps, and the traps that they do run, I consider them mediocre. You know, I personally hate going -1. So I never tested the threat neurons. I've seen builds that have tested it. You know, we know someone who's tested the threat neurons, and even sure it might work for you, but in this specific build, you know, I'd rather punish my opponent rather than stall. You know, I think there are better staple traps that you can main deck, you know, than going -1 and stalling for a turn. Alright, so it's double Torrential, double Bottomless, and this is for the doubles, and double Phoenix Chain. I was originally running 1 Phoenix Chain, but I decided to bump it up to 2 because I think about it this way. I think of it as a Veiler that you can activate in any phase, and a Threatening Roar. You can prevent attacks, and you can negate effects. You know, sure, they might MST it, but the fact of the matter is if they waste an MST on something like that, it'll just make your Torrentials and Bottomlesses and the rest of your trap lineup more consistent, and going into game 2 and 3, if they waste an MST on that, you know, your side deck cards are just gonna play a lot better. You know, so you know, I don't main deck Veiler, and another effect negation is 1 Breakthrough Skill. This is pretty much my 3 Veilers right here in the main deck. Now, if I need further effect negation, I side deck the Veilers. You know, I just think that Maxi is a lot better main decked in the deck. All right, so. And then the last 2 cards, 1 Compulse and 1 Nerve Force. I know that a lot of people are running multiples of Compulse, but I just hate it when your opponent does not go into an XYZ or Synchro, and you have to remove a monster from the field. You're going to -1. This is a -1. In every other scenario other than XYZs and Synchros, it is a -1. I do not like -1s. But, you know, like... This you know, like this punishes multiple monsters. You know, bad players, bad plays. You know, and it's just Mirror Force. You know, it's a good card. You know, I was considering it for a while, bumping it up to 2, but I decided to do 1 Compulse instead. You know, like even though it seems like I'm talking bad about Compulse, it's still a very good card. You know, it's pretty much stable in any deck, especially in this format. I might change it out depending on next format or what we see. If we see harpies, or if we see we're definitely gonna see more fire fists. But if we see an abundance of mermails or any XYZ or synchro based deck, I'm definitely gonna keep the 1 compulsion. I probably won't bump it up to 2, but I'll probably leave it at 1. And then for the extra deck, I am running 1 Utopia. Honestly, I think this is one of the most useless XYZ extra deck because honestly,
Who got big-eyed yesterday?
Shut up. Alright, but yeah, it's good for stalling it, but other than that, it's just a beater. I think there are much better XYZs and synchros in the deck that you can go into, and if you know how to play around certain decks, you don't. This isn't even a requirement in the extra deck. I was actually considering for a long time taking this out, and I might actually take it out for a second one of these Constellar Omega. It is a busted card against back row heavy decks. It is too good. I was actually playing against let's see, what was it? I was playing against Giriga Karakuri today, and he had like 3 back rows set, and he let the Mon and Sis play go through, and I overlaid for Omega, and then he didn't really have much anything to really respond because he didn't have the warning. And if he would go, and if he would have wanted it to get rid of it, he would have had to minus himself to get rid of it, because he would have to waste 2 traps to get rid of it. So and then we have double Palo Dynamo. It's good, beats Dragosack.
Oh, my
Beats
God,
a
no.
$60 card with a $5 card. Yeah, exactly. 1 Black Ship of Corn. It's I consider it a staple. It's good, and it's just ship. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Slave ship.
Slave ship. The Middle Passage. Oh, that's worse. It's Black Ship of Corn. Oh my God, that is really racist. 1 that goes to Emerald. I already showed it. 1 Dweller for the Mermail matchup.
Fuck you, Dweller.
Yeah, depending if Mermails make a big comeback next format, even if they get him,
they will.
even if they make a comeback next format, I am considering running double, and I'm pretty sure Herb will hate that.
Yeah, fuck that.
1 Cowboy because wins games. 1 Maestro, and the 1 rank 4 that I'm missing right now is Crazy Box, and that's because I side deck Eradicator Epidemic Virus. But yeah, now for the synchros, I do 1 Scrap Dragon. It's staple in any any deck that can go into level 8 synchros. 1 Stardust, 1 Crimson Blader. This Rex Elemental Dragons and Mermails. And Stardust is a staple. No need to go into that. And the second card that I'm missing, I'm only missing 2 cards out of the extra deck. And the second card that I'm missing from the extra deck is Thought Ruler Archfiend. I'm pretty much missing the 2 EEV targets.
What you got rid of?
Huh?
What you got rid of?
Yeah, I got rid of an ulti a while back. I kind of regret it, but yeah, whatever.
No.
I can still get it back, whatever. It doesn't really matter. And then 1 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. And just Cyber Dragon siding against machine decks, because I wouldn't side against any deck that can go to Draco, but against I'm expecting Girgia Karakuri or Karakuri in general to make a comeback or make an appearance next format. So I'm definitely prepared for that, and it actually put in so much work against one of my friends that was helping me playtest, and some guy I dueled at Frankenstein's. I just cleared his board multiple times with Cyber Dragons.
You dueled somebody at Frankenstein today?
Not after Frankenstein.
Oh, never mind.
Carl Jr. like 4 people.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Exactly, dude. Fucking Carl's Jr. was everyone at Frankenstein's was at Carl's Jr. Dude. They had hella business.
Carl Jr. at Frankenstein.
But yeah, guys, that's my deck. I'm not gonna show the side deck because it's not fully complete yet, and I'm still testing out different things for next format. Considering that Fire Fists are gonna make a strong appearance, and Dragons might get hit. You just headbutted the crap out of him.
You scared me.
But yeah, guys. This is my Thunder Family deck. It's consistent. All my playtesting buddies right here can attest to that.
It's the only one I've ever lost to. I don't think I've beat it once yet.
Yeah, you haven't won a match against me. He dueled me with Insectors.
Heretics?
Heretics, which he opened up the brokes every single game.
Beauty shit.
Yeah, honestly, guys, he like opens up the with like the craziest hands like with Insectors and Heretics. Like he has OTKs for days, honestly. Like I don't know if it's because his deck is consistent or because or because they're gay decks. But
Stacking.
But yeah, you know, like this guy, this is a strong, consistent build. I would definitely recommend you to try it.
20 minutes,
And,
I know, yeah, really. We're on the 20-minute mark.
all right, and but yeah, guys, I know this is my Thunder Family deck.
All right, YouTube. See you.